I got wasted because I didn't want to deal with myself.
Welcome to the Finding What Drives You podcast. First, I want to start off and just thank everybody out there that listens. I really appreciate every one of you. You know, I get on these and sometimes I forget about everyone that's shown so much support. And I just focus on who the guest is, and I appreciate and love every one of you. But today we have a special guest, a great man, great father, great husband, a great friend, stand-up comedian, which we're going to talk a lot about that and how you got up on stage, my man. A hard worker, you know, a pipeliner, a bicycle enthusiast extraordinaire.
Yeah.
I don't know how to call it. You're a bicyclist, and no friend of Jack Daniels anymore. Folks, welcome Joe Daniels.
Thank you, man. This is cool, dude. It's like, yeah, we're nervous now. All right, let's get it. We was all good up to about a minute ago.
Can we get some awkward silence now?
So, hi.
Oh, yeah. So you brought it up. Like, who are you looking at over here? So when everyone's wondering, this is like the beginning of a Steve Harvey show or like Jerry Springer. There's a big crowd. This is live.
Hundreds of people.
Hey, how you doing, Susie?
Yeah. So, man, one, I think it's awesome you started this, dude. I just want to say, I think a lot of people want to get doing shit and they don't.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, why take that risk of getting judged?
Yeah, you said earlier you want to start a podcast too, right? And you're afraid there's an asshole like you out there.
Exactly. That's right, dude. I can judge with the best of them.
Nope, he's doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that reminds. So I for about 10 years I had this T-shirt that said "Fuck Joe Daniels." Tell us the story how that began,
dude. That was. Man, that was a long time ago. I was late teens, probably. And I remember we went out to a field party. Like there was a guy, I had a girlfriend back in high school and her boyfriend. And it was that drama, that high school drama. And so, I remember we went out to the pits. Remember the pits is where you go. And so I went out there and I remember there's like the ringleader guy of the area, and like you had to clear it with him. You had to sanction
There's
the fight.
a 30-foot fire.
Yeah, dude.
You have to get acceptance from the ringleader. I get it. Yeah.
Dude, and so it was just like, I remember like you got to go up to so-and-so and you have to get the approval, whatever. And
were you on the email list?
Dude, yeah. And so I go up and I'm like, hey man, I'm like, I need to square things up with that guy over there. And he's all, why? You know, like, what's the reason? I'm like, well, he said, fuck Joe Daniels, man. Like, he goes, all right, good enough. I'm just like, you know, they didn't want to give him the whole backstory. Yeah. And so then, it went down and I remember afterwards we're back at my buddy's house and he goes, fuck Joe Daniels, huh? That's why. I go, dude, I wasn't ready for all the questions. I just wanted to get a fight. You know? And so then it was just it turned into a thing, and then shirts got made, and it was
I didn't know either. Like I was wearing this shirt. They're like, who's Joe Daniels? I was like, I don't know, but fuck him.
Yeah, because it came off like, you know, if you say this, oh, he's gonna snap. And it's like, no.
So that's how it started. You just made it up.
Yeah.
Some guy said, fuck Joe Daniels.
Yeah.
And so he said, come on in.
Yeah, I guess that's
the magic password.
Yeah, fits in the bylaws. Yeah, it's one of the rules. You can fight for that.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes, you're in. You're on the list. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was, those are fun times, man, back in high school, you know? And, and doing all that. Like, I'm very thankful we grew up when we did, because UFC wasn't quite what it is now. Everybody wasn't goddamn jiu-jitsu experts and shit, you know? It was, who was the luckiest? It's like, and typically if you threw first, you know, you had a good, your odds went up.
I totally agree, man. Everyone's training now.
Everybody, dude. Yeah.
No, we grew up in a great time. I swear I didn't write down a lot of notes because I knew this would just be easy talking with you for an hour. But I just got a flashback of you. I think it was Jerry's Pizza. Motor Grader might have been playing, and you ran down the steps trying to hit somebody and missed.
Okay. See, so this is one of those things. So there's a lot of stories I don't remember, but I enjoy hearing them. Like what you say, I go, oh yeah, that could happen. Jerry's Pizza, Motor Grader, I remember those.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just, I remember I was at Jerry's Pizza one night, and I don't know, it was getting out of hand, you know. And I remember I got choked out. I remember I squared up with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, someone's going to leave, and I'm like, all right, And I just walked upstairs of Jerry's Pizza. I walked out and went, wasn't I just getting ready to fight somebody? I go, so I walked back down there. And then it went out into the alley. And what it was, I was squared up with someone and someone came up behind me and choked me out.
Oh, man. Someone was training.
Yeah, put me to sleep. Put me to
training
sleep.
early.
Yeah. And so, dude, then it went out to the street. Happened to me again. And I remember getting up and going, whoever's doing that needs to stop it. Yeah.
Stop doing that. Oh my God. All right. That is a good one right there.
Yeah. Those drinking stories, man.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, I met you hanging out with Dustin Jones.
Yep.
And, in high school, I kind of just bounced around from house to house and kind of parents out of town type of situation, but got to hang out with Dustin, live with him. That's how we met. And we had a lot of fun times.
Dude, it was, so Sunday was 6 years clean and sober for myself.
Yes, I wanted to bring it out in the surprise.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy's parties. And then boom, 6 years sober.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was, dude, beer was great, man. Like that baseline anxiety would go away. You could talk to people. And it was just, I look back on stuff and I go, man, I wish I never did that. Like, I appreciate everything I went through. Like, it was, I'm more appreciative that I was able to get past it because it was fun till it wasn't,
Yeah, for sure.
And I've heard people describe it, drinking and drugs, whatever, the progression is pretty much fun with problems and then problems,
right.
And so dude, like I look back and, I work with Dustin still. So he does a lot of jobs for the company I work for. And so I run into him and it's cool, man. Even seeing him thrive, seeing you thrive. Like we've all, ran it pretty hard there at times. And and it's weird, dude. So getting into, dude, I work on pipelines. I'm a welder, there's welding pipe and drinking,
right. Goes hand in hand.
Oh, dude. And it's,
well, just drinking. That's weak. That's weak sauce for a pipe welder.
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, dude. There's some guys know what they're doing out there. And, but it's, but it was something like, I started drinking pretty young. I think it was probably around 11. Because I had some older cousins. We used to go to Derek Liquors down there off of Niles.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember I'd go in there and it was like 89 cents for like a King Cobra 40. I just put my dollar up there and the guy'd like, there you go. And, but dude, it was awesome, and then, but man, fast forward high school, all that stuff. It was just, dude, the stories they're great. They're funny, man. And then you get out of high school and responsibilities start coming along. And then there's not the funny stories aren't as much as they used to be. And there's like trouble that comes along. And when you get married and have kids and there's responsibilities and it just gets, I got to a point I couldn't stop. Like, even when I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore.
Right.
And it just, and then for me, there's drugs. Drugs are part of my story. I got ADD, which I didn't really know through high school and all that. Like, my wife eventually goes, we need to go because you got it. Like, I'm a teacher. And she's like, I see you guys all the time,
It's funny. I have AD. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, dude. So I got into meth, dude. Like, and it was great. Like, but I noticed I kind of had a different reaction than with other people. Like, I'd be doing it with people and they're like, let's go out and do this. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go home and play Tetris for a couple of days by myself.
Oh, wow,
yeah. And so it calmed me down to an extent. I didn't like being around people. It did the exact opposite of what I
made you geeking out.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Yep. I'll just stay home. I don't need to leave my house,
Go do math problems on the board. Yeah.
Goodwill hunting. And so dude, it got to the point, but then like, me and
so
my
you're
wife,
like Goodwill Hunting, but with drugs
and
alcohol. Okay.
Not as sharp, but but yeah, dude, it just got to a point where, me and my wife had got together and dude, I remember I was like, okay, cool. Like this, like I've been in love with my wife since 8th grade.
Yeah, I know. You've always talked about it.
She doesn't have that same story.
Who's Joe Daniels?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
And so, with that, it ended up, I remember getting with her and I'm just like, okay, all this needs to stop. And I just couldn't stop, and man, I would try everything under the sun. I even failed a drug test where I worked. had to go to rehab, and I was like, man, this isn't for me.
Right.
And so I just need to stop doing drugs. I can keep drinking, you know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, fast forward, dude, to 2016, and I've already set all these deadlines when I'm going to stop and move forward. And I blow past every one of them.
Yeah.
And I just remember I finally I'm not a big church going guy, you know, I didn't grow up going to church, but I do believe there's something bigger out there. And I remember dude sitting on my couch just being like, God, I need your help. Like, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore. And I'm like, I'm telling my wife, I gotta go to rehab. I can't do this.
Yeah.
And so
you tried to do it on your own, and it was just too much.
Hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Hundreds of times, you know, and it just couldn't. So signed up for a 30-day program. And I remember being online, like, cause I was like, I don't want to do no like 12-step program stuff like them,
right.
them kind of cultish people, you know?
Right.
And so, dude, I looked for this rehab that said not all the way 12-step program, you know? And I'm like, I just want to do some yoga, you know, do a little therapy and get back to life, right? And yeah, dude, they bamboozled me, dude. We went to meetings every night and you know? So, but I remember I was like, all right, this whole 12-step stuff, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna like, dude, I totally went into it to prove how it ain't gonna work for me, you know?
Wow, at least you went in there.
Yeah, and so like I was already in that rehab about a week, and finally I went, okay, I'm gonna and dude, for whatever reason, I gave myself this one rule and I stuck with it, and that was I'm gonna try this whole 12-step thing. I'm gonna do everything they say I suggest, but as soon as it ain't working,
yeah,
because this ain't gonna work.
You proved them wrong.
But dude, yeah, the only thing is like I had to. So the one rule was I had to be honest with myself,
right?
And that was if this 12-step thing isn't working, am I really doing what they're telling me to do? Right. And if I'm doing everything like they say and it ain't working, cool. And dude, I can never, whenever it was going to shit, like if I really sat down and went, hey, am I really doing what they've been telling me to do? And it's just like, no, I'm not. And so I wouldn't quit on it, and I would go back at it. And dude, it just worked throughout the years, and you start accumulating time, and then you get to a point. I remember when I was getting up to like 1 year of sobriety, man, like my head was going a little weird that week up to it,
right?
And it was like, because dude, there's an alcoholic and addict that lives in me, dude, and it was like, the alcoholic in me was like, okay, we've played this game too long. Let's go get a drink. You're about to get a year here, and that you're kind of committing to this whole sobriety thing. Let's not do that, you know?
Right.
And dude, it was a weird time for me. And so, but anyway, I got the year and I kept doing what I'm doing. I got a group of men around me that, you know, some of them have lots of, done this a lot longer than I have. Right. And I got guys I can reach out to. And dude, a lot of guys that understand the craziness that goes on in that alcoholic head of just like, I love it, man. I can call them and tell them I'm crazy, and they're just like, "Hell yeah, I get it."
Yeah, no.
You know, the big thing is though, what I've learned to do, and I'm still learning to do is when everything's all screwed up. You know, man, I was before I got sober, dude. This finger, man, would get worn out with all the pointing of the reasons why everything's jacked up.
I love that. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And when they tell you you got to figure you out, you know?
Right. And
it's like, you have for me, I have a part, anytime I'm been out of shape, I have some role in it, some way, shape or form. Right. I may not be the whole reason for it, but there's something.
Yeah.
And I remember, so I tell you this story when I was down in rehab. This was, so dude, we sit down for this group meeting, right? And it's like this 80-year-old lady, little frail lady. She comes into this little group. She goes, I want you guys to write down, tell me something that makes you mad, something that, you know, I was like, oh, I've got one. So I said, I got one for her, you know, everybody's going to agree with me on this.
Yeah. And
so I wrote out when I hold the door open for someone and they don't say thank you, you know, and she's like, well, how do you feel? I go, I want to drag them back through that door, you know, because, and she goes, oh yeah. Yeah. And dude, she goes, so here's the solution to that problem. And I'm like, okay. She goes, stop holding doors open for people because you can't handle it. It's too much for you. And I go, oh my God. And I was like, bitch, you know? And I'm like, and she goes, because you're not opening a door to be nice. She goes, you're opening a door and for validation. And she goes, when they say thank you, it validates you. You did something good and you feel good about yourself. But when they don't, you can't handle it. She goes, so just stop doing it, honey, because it's just too much for you.
Wow. And I was that is a grand slam home run. Mentally.
I've never been punked like that in my life. And so But I listened to what she said and I couldn't argue it. And I was like, I didn't want to believe that. What?
Yeah.
Dude, like, that's, you know, she just called me a bitch.
Yeah.
and so, dude, it's just like, that stuck with me though. Where I was like, man, there's some truth to what she's saying. Because
Yeah.
it does make me feel good when they
And
say
you didn't
thank
want
you.
her to wear that t-shirt.
No, dude. Yeah, dude. And it's funny now. So, like, if I'm somewhere and I open a door open and someone's with me and maybe they don't say thank you, they're like, that person did say, that's all right. It's all right. Don't worry about
It's
it.
okay, I can handle this.
Yeah. I can do mine. And so,
You're
it was
white
just
knuckle
like,
on the steering
dude,
wheel.
it's okay. It's okay.
Now you're mad at two people. They didn't say thank you and her.
Yeah. So, dude, but something as simple as that,
Yeah.
you know, man, I knew I could be mad at that. I was justified. It wasn't,
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just little stuff like that. Looking at your part, man. And typically people I'm mad at, you know, I have put these unrealistic expectations on this person. Like, you know, it's like this guy is a piece of shit all the time, right?
Right.
And then he ends up being a piece of shit to me and I'm pissed about it.
Right.
Why did I expect him not to be a piece of shit to me when he's a piece of shit to everyone?
Exactly.
You know? And so
Yes.
you got to look at people and go, okay, that's you're getting what you get.
Right.
Don't expect anything different.
Right.
Now, remembering that all the time is a little tough.
Yeah, I
but-
come at people with sympathy and empathy. Like, I feel like I know myself well enough. How am I going to let somebody else get into what I've built for myself, all my awareness I've built? You know, if they come at me talking crap, then they're probably projecting something that's going on wrong with their day or their life. And I feel sympathy for them, you know, so.
Dude, and that's a great place to get,
Right.
you know, and some days I'm there.
Right.
Some days
Hey,
I'm, you know, or
we're
working.
all not perfect. We're all trying to figure this shit out. Sometimes act like we know what we're doing, but we're all trying to just get better every day and be happy and peaceful. You know?
And dude, and that's the thing, man. I'm 42 and I'm just now starting to figure out how to live life, you know?
Right.
I was very immature and just didn't really know how to handle things, you know? Anger, man. You know, to find out anger is is derived from fear. You're
Direct. Yes.
yeah, when you're mad, you're afraid of something.
Right.
You know?
And
And
I-
it's just like, what?
Right.
No, you know? And so, but like that's for me, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that's been 100% true. Like, I'm usually mad because something's not going my way.
Right.
And now I got to adjust and I don't want to because whatever. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Man,
Yeah.
so do you have a saying or word that you stick to, or some type of question that you ask yourself whenever you want to slip up, or you know, something that keeps you back on track? Or do you call somebody like a
So-
mentor or something?
Yeah, I call people. It was funny, like right after I got a 1 year of sobriety, I remember a guy pulled me aside and was like, you know, he had a lot of time, and he goes, "Why are you sober today?" And I go, "Oh, well," he goes, I go, "Well, because I got my wife and I got my kid." He goes, I got that. You got sober, you know, for all these reasons, whatever they are. But why are you sober now? Because you ain't drinking, you ain't doing drugs, everything is going smooth. So what is keeping you sober now? And my answer to him was, I don't know. Because I didn't know at that time. And then I got to learn that, you know, the reasons why you do things, you know, tend to change,
Right.
you know, and so I think I kind of rambled on. What was your question? Sorry about that.
No, do you have a question that sets you back on track? You know, whenever you start thinking bad, or you're by yourself, or I don't know, you wanna. I think you're past that now, but like in the beginning stages when you wanted to go get a drink,
right.
or you wanted to slip up, and you probably had the opportunity to, you know, how did you not do it?
Reached out. I called people that the guys that are around me that have been sober for a long time, and I call them and go, "Hey man, this is what I want to do."
Right.
And they go, you know, and then they can start asking you questions of like the why, what's going on, what's
Yes.
this and that, and then go, okay, let's play that out. So for me, that was a big one too. Was playing out the next 24 hours.
Right.
Okay, if you want to drink or do drugs or whatever, cool. Let's play out the next 24 hours.
Right.
And dude, it was never good. Like, you know, and so
Dang, that's good. Yeah.
and so you can, you know, going and getting that beer or whatever your vice is, you know, that first hour is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, maybe even a couple hours, but dude, the next 24 ain't.
Right.
You know, chances are.
Next morning's not. If
Yeah.
you go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And it was just like, and then for me, like, it was go to work, drink some beers, go to bed. Go to work, drink some beers, go to bed. You know, and it's just, dude, it's just, And then all of a sudden, man, time's just going by. Your life is going by, and you're just existing. You're not doing anything.
It's like that movie Click, huh? With Adam
yeah,
Sandler. Yeah.
you're just fast forwarding.
Yeah.
You know?
So, did you have like a check engine light on your body? Did you ever feel like, hey, shoot, I'm gonna die doing this?
No, I didn't. I would have. I mean, after looking back now, and I do remember, because I would drink cans of beer, and I remember like going out to the recycling bin, dude, and it's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cans, and I remember thinking to myself, my liver filtered every one of those,
Yeah.
you know, like, and so, I quit just in time that if there are going to be any issues, they're not going to be. I didn't stop because I started having health issues.
Oh, right.
You know,
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and there's guys that have gotten health issues and then been able to stop doing it, and the body's an amazing thing, dude. You can run it hard.
Yeah.
So luckily for me, there wasn't any health issues. It was relationship issues. I was on the verge of losing my marriage or my job.
Right.
And if I would have lost one, the other one was going to go. And then if they both would have been gone, I just don't think it was in me to go, well, I better get better now.
Right.
Now I'm the way my mind thinks it was, well, now I got nothing to lose. So let's, you know.
So how many times did you try to quit on your own?
I'd say hundreds.
Hundreds of times.
Yeah, hundreds.
Every Monday?
Dude, yeah. Monday was always a marker,
Do you love Mondays now?
Dude, they're less stressful because I don't have to worry about a drug test or an alcohol test. Dude, I don't miss that. I remember heading to work Mondays, man, just being like, God, like why?
Right.
I remember being in the mirror, dude, more than once and just going, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
Like why you got a great job, you got wife, you got kids, you got, if from the outside, everything looks great. And it's just like, why can you not stop doing this?
Right.
And
why was it?
Alcoholic, man.
Just
there's just the way I explain it, man, there's people in this world, there's people that's born with regulators and there's people that's born with switches. And I got a switch, dude. And once it's on, it's
I seen it.
Yeah, she don't stop till the breaker blows, but some people, like my wife, she can order a glass of wine at dinner and drink half of it, and then it just sits there. And dude, to this day, I can still sit there and go, not gonna finish that, huh?
Leave a soldier behind?
Yeah, I'm like, wow.
Nobody leaves a soldier behind.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a weird thing for me. Stuff I still notice, dude, where it's just like, I can't do that. You know?
I hear you there.
Yeah, I just had a buddy at work, a couple guys at work go, hey man, like, if you could go have a beer, like if your wife signed off on it, I think that was the way he phrased it.
See, that's the outside influence right there.
Yeah, because if your wife signed off on it, like, would you go have a beer? And I went, nah, dude, like I just can't. Like I go, two things are gonna happen. One of two things. One, I'm gonna go out and have a couple beers and everything's gonna be okay, which is gonna be probably one of the worst things for me.
Right.
And I said, or I'm gonna go out and it's all gonna go to shit. Because in my head, there's also that, well, I just threw away 6 years of sobriety.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna really tie it off.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just like, it's easier to stay sober than get sober. And so it's just like, there's just a lot of, this is just an easier life, man.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want to go back to that, being in my living room. And I remember just that hopelessness and just, fuck, I can't do this.
Right.
And like I said, man, I had great times, dude. I look back on it and I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Dude, I have an ability to talk to my kids now.
Right.
My son's 14, going to be going into high school.
Right.
So, and dude, I just have I'm comfortable talking about drugs and alcohol to my son.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I just let him know what it is, man. I told him, dude, like, look around at your friends, dude. I go, you're probably going to lose one of them.
Right.
And I said, dude, and I said another thing now. I was like, you kids your age got to worry about a little thing called fentanyl. And I go, that shit wasn't out there, dude, when I was younger,
No, right.
And so I told my son, I go, dude, just know. I said, you're going to get offered something.
Yeah.
Take a smoke of this. Take this pill.
Right.
Drink this. I go, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
It just is. And I go, dude, just know you may watch someone hit that, drink that, take that pill and be okay. But you don't know their tolerance. You don't even know if it's the same batch of pills or whatever. Right. And I go, you could die, dude. I go, you could die. And I try to show them stuff on TV when they start talking about fentanyl because that scares the shit out of me. It really does.
It's number one right now. Freaking killers, man. Teenagers and adults everywhere. I've known 12 people right now that's passed away from fentanyl in the last 2 years. So
wow, dude.
Yeah, crazy.
It is, man. That's scary.
My stepbrother Ryan passed away about 6 months ago. Yeah, I just got a bad.
I'm sorry
batch.
to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy. You gotta be careful.
Yep. Yeah, and so it's so that's one of the things I'm grateful for, man. Is my experience because I get to. It doesn't bother me talking to it with my kids about it, and I hope, and I'm pretty sure that they would come to me with any questions and all that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah. So Kim, love your life. You've got her.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
Angel. Dude,
so you're a salesman too.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Dude, I remember I was looking in the mirror and I was looking at her and I go, why'd you give up? This is what you
why'd you give up on your dreams?
Yeah, I was like,
that's great.
Yeah, dude, she's been and I'm sober because of her because dude,
something bigger than you.
Like I go to rehab and I get home and she's taking all the liquor out of the house, this and that, and then she doesn't drink, for at least the first year. And I'm just like, it was a lot cheaper the way you did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stopped, huh?
Yeah.
And so, but dude, her support, like I said, I got into bike riding, and that takes up a lot of time, but there's times you like, if that's my outlet,
right,
and so
exactly. Yeah.
If I start working too much and I ain't riding, dude, there's times like I'll get home and she'll be like, how about you hop on that bike? go
ahead,
ride. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so you have a wife and 2 kids.
Yep. I got a 14-year-old son and a 11-year-old daughter.
Yes, right on, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
You're being a good role model right now, man.
Dude, yeah. And I was, so they were 7 and 5, when I got sober, if that math is right. But I remember my daughter coming up and asking me like, why do you drink all those blue cans?
Yeah.
And it's just like, so even though they didn't know, they noticed something was up.
So you're a Bud Light drinker.
Yeah.
It was. I know my dad stepdad worked for Anheuser-Busch for 32 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know. I was the guy bringing 2 liters to school.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. I definitely. Yeah, I've considered quite a lot of Mondays quitting as well,
dude. Yeah. So,
but dude, I want you to explain the progression of like start drinking at 11, and then when did drugs come into play, and then how did this whole storyline play out of
so yeah, start drinking. I had 3 older cousins. They were all 5 years older than me, and I didn't have any brothers or sisters growing up, so that's what we would do, and I enjoyed it. It was fun, and so drugs came in at 17 when I was in high school. So I was probably a senior, I'm guessing,
Right.
And
what drug was that? If you don't,
what's that?
What drugs were that?
Meth. So I tried that before anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got right to the hard stuff.
Yeah. So, and then I remember I tried weed. I'm like, you guys, this is lame.
Yeah.
You guys all hyping up.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And then that was, man, it was very recreational for a long time. And then
but it wasn't a problem.
It turned into one.
Right.
Yeah. But it wasn't just right out the gate a problem.
Yeah. Cause I hadn't met you. I remember just drinking with you. I don't remember us doing anything like that.
Probably in my early 20s is when it, 2003. I remember that was a time it was just really bad. And that's when me and my wife got together and I knew that had to stop.
Right.
And I couldn't. And so it was that. So then it was a problem.
Right.
And then, dude, it stayed a problem. And drinking was always there. That was always that was always
we
around.
drank a lot together.
But I remember in 2009, I think it was, my wife was like, God damn, you got ADD. Like you just, and so you need to go talk to someone. And so I remember going and, talking to this guy and me and my wife were there and they give us this questionnaire. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, fill out, you answer it and then she's going to answer it for me also. Like she has the same sheet, And I remember just one of the questions was, are you sensitive to noise? I'm like, no, man, I work around jackhammers and, I got stereos and all that,
Mm-hmm.
And so I answered, no, I'm not sensitive. And so when he got to that question, my wife goes, are you serious right now? Like you're, and I go, what? I go, I go, you know, she goes, 2 nights ago, there was a bush tapping on the window and you were in your underwear out in the front yard cutting the bushes because it's like you couldn't handle the tapping on the window. And I went, oh, like the little noises. Yeah, the little ones.
Jackhammer's cool.
Yeah. So
Wind chimes, no.
So there was a lot of questions like that where it was just like, and so anyway, they prescribed me some AD thing. It wasn't Adderall or some other thing like Concerta or something. But I remember once I started taking that, I was able to get off the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So there was definitely some self-medication that was going on up at that point, you know?
Nice, yeah.
And then, dude, for whatever reason, I just felt like that medication made me feel weird. And so I stopped taking it. And eventually, dude, an opportunity came up to do drugs again. And it started out just like it did, recreational for a long time until it wasn't.
Right.
And said, and that was, but I remember I had failed a drug test at work in 2006 and they send you to a rehab and whatnot. And I did that. I didn't want to be there, man. Like I was ready to quit doing drugs. I wasn't ready to stop drinking.
Yeah.
And they didn't understand that there.
Right.
Of how we just need to work on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, I didn't understand what needed to happen.
Yeah. I read a book called Atomic Habits and it's called habit stacking. And when you drink, you know, and then you add drugs on it, it kind of goes hand in hand. Once you start drinking, you have to have your habit stacked.
Yes.
It's a habit you create of drinking, then drugs.
Yes.
So you can't, if you want to quit doing drugs, you got to quit drinking, cut out the middleman. And then
that was exactly what I had to do. And I had problems with alcohol too, where, you know, and my wife, and this is one of the things that I look back and just, she knew like whenever I'd get home and a beer would get in my hand, you know, the problem was she knew a storm was coming and she just didn't know how big it would be. So her demeanor would change and I would see her demeanor change. That would irritate me. And then I would just pick a fight. So then I could just go down to the bar.
Right.
You know,
what was your bar of choice?
Sports and spirits. So I was like, am I allowed to like, should I be promoting that? Like, they didn't force me to do anything.
This is not a sponsored event. Don't worry. I am supporting local businesses, but not.
Yeah, they were great. They had no idea.
So far, we got the poorhouse. We support them though. Still.
Yeah, dude. And so, you know, and looking back as a husband, you know, to know that was my wife had to come home to her home and had to walk on eggshells in her own home. Like she couldn't be comfortable in her own home. That bothers me, you know? And, you know, I've talked to her about it since and just like, there's just stuff like that you don't think of, when you're in the middle of what you're doing. I ain't hurt nobody.
Right.
Just having some beers.
Yeah.
Ain't affect nobody else, you know? So that was my attitude with a lot of that. And, but it does, man. It affects a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, and it also hurts a lot of people. Dude, a lot of people care about us, believe it or not.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And
don't ever underestimate who will miss you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I just had a coworker killed himself a couple weeks ago, and he was a younger guy, man, dude, hard worker, and I probably haven't even seen him in a couple of years. He would work out of town, and when I heard the news, man, that was tough to hear. Yeah. I'm like, man, that guy had no idea how many. And dude, I've reached out to people that we've all worked with him, and a lot of good stories of that guy. And it's just like, I don't think that guy had any idea how many people loved him.
Yeah,
and,
it's a shame, you know. If you just think of the phrase "this too shall pass," you know, I don't know about mental illness. You know, I can't touch on that. I don't know what he's going through, but man, if you just wait it out, you know, just wait it out a day or two, you know, and seek out for some help. And having a good mentor, man, is so crucial in life.
Well,
having someone to call.
Yeah, and I think our generation is getting better, but I think the generation prior to us, like we're in this transition of being a man. You know, you don't talk about your feelings. You know, you just tough it up and you get through it, and it's like, man, that's not the most healthiest thing.
Exactly.
You know, and I try to get my kids to talk about what they're feeling at times. My son's chill. He's got my wife's gene when it comes to getting riled up about stuff, which is, you know, my daughter's like me. Yeah. And so I'm able to like, hey, you know, tell me how you're feeling. Like, you know, and she's able to be honest with me and say some crazy stuff at times, and we get to laugh about it. And I go, cool. Yeah. I know you feel like that. I get it. But, you know.
Dude, yeah. I talked about this, man. I was like, I changed my life. I had to write this thing on my why. Find my why. Someone asked me, and I started writing it down. And like, it freaking took me. I started off like, you know, this perfect story. Then all of a sudden, like, I had so many questions. And I was like, man, maybe I just blocked out a lot of stuff from my childhood. And I started reaching out and asking questions. And then it just got to where I started, learning about my childhood. And then I started getting where I had to eventually open up and talk about it.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that's a similar way that you did, like going into AA and just having to unmask all your manliness and just being vulnerable and open. And that's when you start like being free as a man. And once you could tell your story comfortably after a while, that's when you start, being comfortable in life and start progressing.
Right.
That's my take on it,
Yeah, dude, it's I just went blank. Yeah, see that happens at times.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, dude. Like getting into just moving forward and dealing with your feelings and emotions.
Yeah,
right? You're not taught that young. At least a lot of people aren't. It's not taught in school, And,
or our parents, for sure.
Yeah, and there's just and mind you, there's nothing against my parents. They shared their knowledge,
right.
And there's just more knowledge now. And I think there is a bit of grit that's important to have in life,
Mm-hmm.
But you also need to be able to express yourself in a productive manner, I'll say, because I'm really good at doing it in an unproductive manner, and so trying to, man, I catch myself all the time, dude, where I'll be on a job and it ain't going the way I think it should, and I'm getting wound up, and I'll look around and I'm like, I'm the only guy pissed off right now,
exactly,
and it's like, so
it's got to be you,
it's like let's just take it back a little bit.
Yeah, man. Through my journey, I found out like what works for me. How do I become the best version of myself? So I became up with my 5 pillars. After watching the movie Chasing Mavericks, Frosty says, you got to work on your 4 solid pillars to become a man. And I didn't think about it until years later. But it's mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And working on those 4 pillars, and then I added financial because I've always been good at making money, but I just blew it on stupid stuff. And then if your finances are bad, it's gonna mess with you. And if you're in debt to your eyeballs, it's gonna mess with you. And so you have to go through that phase of life too, hopefully. So,
dude, that's a big one too. And it's funny how my bank account looks a lot different since I quit drinking. And I had no idea, dude, how much money I was spending and I look back and I got into listening to the Dave Ramsey podcast a lot, you know?
Exactly.
And so, dude, it just, I don't follow it to a T, but man, it's helped me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Lot,
just add it to your pillar list and just try to learn how money works. It's really beneficial.
Yeah. And the mental, but like talking about the mental aspect of it too, being able to, that mental health, riding the bike, man.
Yeah.
That benefited me way more than I ever thought it would. Like, I used to ride BMX bikes as a kid.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Was it the?
I remember what was
that bike you had?
I had a Huffy.
Yeah.
I always bring it up. I brought it like 3 times now about my Huffy. Everyone had Haros and pegs on there.
The Royal Union. Didn't you have a bike? What was that bike? Do you remember that?
It was the red and silver one.
Yeah, dude. So I was
it had good tires on it though.
But I was like riding bikes, and I didn't do that anymore. And so I ended up. So I went to Malibu. I don't know how I got into that freaking rehab. But anyway, I was there for like 24 days, and they sent me over to this sober living in near Culver City, south of Beverly Hills, north of Culver City. There's this little pocket there, and dude, and I remember I had my bike down there, and I just started riding down there. And it wasn't even a road bike, just a mountain bike that had some, just a basic bike. And but dude, it was cool. I enjoyed getting out, and
you just rode 131 miles to Memorial Bay,
I did
right?
yesterday or Saturday. Yeah,
with John Cunningham, right?
Yeah, dude.
That's cool. John's an awesome dude, man. He's very successful as well. Dude, his business is taking off. Kudos to you, man. It's awesome
he's
business.
Dude. That guy's he's always been a hard worker. I've always been. I watch how he walks through stuff, and he just has an ability to. It is what it is, and you can only do what you can do,
Right.
And I'm like, I wish I could get a little more of that,
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, so I run around with him still quite a bit. And
there's a whole clique out there, man. Of you can't call them bikers,
cyclists.
So I came up with what is it? Bicycle enthusiasts extraordinaires.
Well, dude, and it's funny, dude, because like you start getting into it. So I started riding just a mountain bike. And I remember I used to do when I got back home, I would do this. It was like 7.5 mile loop. And I remember, I think the first time I did it, I had to stop like 3 times to catch my breath. And it was just like, it was horrible, you know?
Yeah.
And, but I enjoyed getting out. There was something like you get home and just feel like you accomplished something. Like you got a little stress relief.
Yes.
And so, and then just from there, man, I'd be in basketball shorts and a tank top, right? That's how I rode, right? And so there's this app called Strava, and you can keep track of your running or your biking and all that stuff. And people make segments, and it'll tell you how fast you got through that segment and where you places with everybody else. And then you start getting competitive with yourself.
Used to be beers. How many beers can we drink? Now it's how many miles we ride,
right?
And how fast we can get it done,
dude. And it's just like, and so it's just gone from there. And I got a road bike, and
do you have those underwear? Those underwear, padded underwear? Okay.
Bet your ass. Yeah. So dude, you start riding, man. And it's just like, now you're trying to get faster, right?
I got a giant. I've been trying to creep in with there. I can't keep up with you guys, but I've been trying to creep in the game.
Yeah, dude. And so I gained like a mile and a half, an hour average going to those suits, dude. And I'm like, I'm sold. Let's do it. And so like right now, man, like, we got this, there's a race coming up on the 14th. It's they call it the East versus West. There's a lot of guys live on the east side of town, west side of town. We all run into each other.
It's still going on, the East versus West?
It's pretty much. That's on the downward.
No, everyone's sober.
Yeah.
Riding bicycles.
Well,
way different than back in the day. Huh?
Yeah. And so it's just like getting into that. We're I forgot what I was going with that, but anyway.
No. Have you seen, I started getting into bicycling a little bit. And my wife showed me a bunch of funny pictures. She always tried to make fun of me whatever I'm doing. And she had some glow-in-the-dark testicles that swing on the back of the bicycle seat. Have you seen those?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, not too arrow. Not too arrow.
Yeah. They blink, they flash,
Oh, dude.
They're a pretty good safety feature.
Yeah, it's funny. You get out there and there's like aerodynamics of biking was something I just thought was bullshit.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you get out there. And I'm all into it now, man. Got to get that carbon fiber wheels.
Dude, riding 131 miles is a lot.
Dude, it was definitely, I worked my way up to it. So a couple years ago, John had talked me into going riding at the coast for it was like a 90-mile ride.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready for that one. And I remember I was like halfway through, dude, my legs were cramping and it was miserable. So, but then we just started doing these longer rides around town and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, I think we can make it to the beach.
Oh, yeah.
And there's guys that have all done it before.
Right.
And so, dude, it just worked out. Weather was perfect. And, dude, it was awesome, man. Rolling into Morro Bay, dude. And there's the rock. And you're just like, dang, dude, we did it.
Wow. And then do you have to ride back?
No, I haven't let kids drive over.
Oh, sir. I'll tell you a quick story, man. So I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm getting into this. So it was like 4 a.m. I woke up, found Jesus. And I was like, I'm getting my bike. I'm going to ride for Jesus today. So I rode from my house on Mohawk and Rosedale, and I got in the Truxton Trail, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Enos Lane. I've seen some people go that way. So I think it's like 20 miles, I'm saying, something like that. And I did it. I made it all the way. And I realized my kid has a baseball game at 8, and it's 6:15. And I was like, oh, shit. So I started hauling back. My legs are dead, and I'm puffing, and people are worried about me. And it's like people are running next to me trying to hand me water. And I had to walk a lot, power walking with my bike. But dude, I made it back, and I was sore for like a week. It's a struggle.
Well, dude, and it's crazy, man. Like, you think that, like, so I ride all the time. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the gym, do a little workout. Legs are strong. Work out my legs all the time. Totally different, dude. Yeah. And and then when you get older, like, man, like you used to go to the gym, be sore the next day. Cool, you could roll the day after that. Right. Yeah, that's about a 3-4 day deal where you're hurting.
Yeah. So that's good. You were addicted. Now you're addicted to something very positive and healthy. And
so, dude, yeah, and it's the same
great outlet. Yeah.
It's the same stuff, dude. It's a healthier outlet. I told John when we were riding over, I go, dude, like, it's like we're still doing stupid shit.
Right, yeah.
we just can't get in trouble for this.
Yeah. So, man, I called Thomas Ricey for this.
Oh, nice, dude.
I wanted to ask you, have you grown up yet at all from what, back in the
Thomas?
day? Yeah.
Not that much, dude, but I can tell you right now.
He had a bunch of stories.
Dude, you want to watch something funny?
Yeah.
Is watch him with his kids, dude. Because his kid, it's just a mini version of him, and watching Tom run around, all he does is tell that kid no. And that kid just doesn't listen to him. Dude, and it is hilarious to watch, dude. Like, he'll take him over to the park by my house sometimes. We'll meet him over there, dude. And we just laugh because
that's awesome.
He gives Thomas a run for his money.
I remember both of you guys, being around you guys is freaking hilarious. But dude, I'm proud of you, man. Definitely for being 6 years sober.
Thanks, man.
So proud of you. I'm also proud of you of being a stand-up comedian, dude. That takes some cojones to do. I've always wanted to try it, man, and I wanted Corey Chappelle was on here.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, how funny is Corey? You're freaking hilarious, man. What was it take? I mean, tell us a story and how cool it is.
So getting sober. So there's always these things I wanted to try, but I wouldn't do it because I was just drinking. It just wasn't going to happen. So I kind of was like, all right, well, I just want to try that. And so I found this guy put on in Santa Monica, do stand-up comedy. And I would drive down there every Saturday for like 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then like it teach you like just the more in depth of what comedy is and how, and just writing jokes and stuff like that. So
like a class, training class?
Yeah, it was a class. And then at the finale was you would go to the Hollywood Improv and you would do a 5-minute deal.
Graduate
right?
the class
Yep.
pretty much?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And so, dude, I was doing that and it was cool, man. But it's like, and I remember this is, so I wrote this joke and it was just like, I'm like, it was stupid, dude. It was about a sheep's pussy. And I was like, it's going to be the funny. And I'm like, I told the guys at work and they were rolling. Like, it was funny. I'm like, it's going to be great.
What joke is it? I want to hear it.
Dude, I don't remember how it all went out.
Okay.
But I'll tell you right now.
Can we put your comedy show at the end of this? You stand up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to find it. It's on my own phone.
Got it.
Do you?
Thomas sent it to me.
Shit.
Yeah. I gotta find it.
Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah, So, dude, I remember, and so you would go down to this class, and like everybody's from that area, a little different,
Yeah.
Not the guys at work. So, dude, and that was the only thing I worked on that week, and I had no revert, and so, dude, I start telling this joke in class, and the people are just like disgusted with what I'm saying. And I'm like they're not getting the funny. Dude. And so, dude, it was horrible, right? It was just like, and like, oh, it was bad. So, but we end up, so we go through the class and now you got to do the 5 minutes and it's like everything I worked on in that class, I just threw in the trash and just sort of do like, just like, and it was a train wreck, dude, trying to like, figure it out. And so I came up with whatever I had and so we get down there and I think it's like a Monday night or whatever. But anyway, dude, we get down there and there's like, he had 2 classes. So there's only like 6 people probably in my class, was like 6 in the other one. Well, then they combine them and they, So I'm like, dude, just give me like the first or second spot. Get in there, get out of there. Cause dude, the nerves were just through the roof. Like I was like, we could just leave. It's like, this is like LA. Like they'll never.
People would rather freaking die than go
dude,
public speak. Yeah,
it was bad. And so boom, they throw the list down, and I'm the last guy, dude, to go. And I'm like, fuck, I got to sit through this whole thing. And it was just like, and then they're like, you're the headliner. You're the head. I go, not the goddamn head. Like somebody had to go last. Like there was no headliner.
Yes.
It's not what it is. Just last.
You never hoping everyone leaves you for your sheep's pussy joke?
Oh, dude, yeah. And so, dude, we get up over there and Dean Del Rey. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's a pretty established comedian.
Right.
He hosts the thing, and so they're going through it. So like they bring up a comedian and he comes out, says a couple jokes, and they do all that, and so. Dude, John's there, Thomas is there, a couple of my other buddies and stuff, and they're sitting right up front, right? So like the first comedian or two, freaking like, so Dean Del Rey's up there and he goes, wow. He goes, where are you fucking rednecks from? And I go, well, I know who he's talking to. like, damn, we stick out that bad, huh? and so dude, he ends up, and so he's just ramming on them like throughout the night. And they're like, who are you here to see? Because it's getting towards the end of the night and I hadn't gone yet. And I was just like, oh my God, dude. And so we get up, and so finally it's my turn to go, dude. And it was one of the scariest moments, dude, ever. Your nerves are just through the roof, dude. And it was a packed house. I mean, because it's everybody who knew those people was like,
Right.
So anyway, I get up there and it was cool because I kind of had just went with it. I'm gonna go with this whole redneck thing that he threw out, and I just like, and I was like, hey guys, I go. I said, old Dean over there, called us out pretty quick. I go, for a minute, I thought you guys left your robes on, And dude, I was like, oh, yeah. And I go, and I told him, I say, we need to have more black friends, And everybody's like, dude, they started laughing. It was good because it was going off of.
I watched it. It was freaking hilarious.
Dude, and so like, I was like, all right, well, let's get started, And I go, you guys ever seen a sheep's pussy? And dude, like, the class is like, oh, and I went, nah, and I just went on to something else, dude. But the class was just like, oh, that was funny. You know, like, just like
little inside joke that was funny for everybody.
Dude, it worked because they're like, oh, because they were hammering on how much, how big of rednecks we were. The whole night. And so, yeah, so dude, like, I didn't get signed to go do Letterman or nothing, but it went well. And dude, the best thing was, dude, there were some people that went, and it was just like, there was one lady that went up before me, and it was just odd and weird. It made no sense. She was just yelling and screaming at people. So it was just, the whole crowd was just like,
you had a heckler?
What is this?
Yeah.
No, she was up there performing.
Oh, God.
And so, dude, it was just like, I can't do that bad.
Oh, yeah. So yeah.
Like, it helped. And then, and so it was actually almost better going towards the end because you got to watch people. You got to watch the people that prepared, the ones that didn't, and you could see. And but dude, I want to tell Corey. Corey needs to do it. And if he's never been to an open mic, he needs to just go watch one because, dude, you'll get so much confidence because people that do open mic nights are just badasses because they don't give a shit, dude. They get up there.
Yeah.
Some people, like, some of it's horrible. But the thing is, they're up there doing it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, I need to be like that.
It's like this podcast. You can sit there and just talk crap or, keyboard warriors on social media.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But yeah, going up there and doing it, you got to be appreciative and like, wow, just be impressed.
And so
takes a lot of balls and courage.
I would tell Corey to go do an open mic night. Just go watch one.
Dude, he's been funny since day one. So have you. We should all go together. Just go do it.
Yeah, they do it on Thursday nights. I believe at the Well on White Lane. I just heard.
Oh, let's do it.
And so, but yeah, he should do that. And so, dude, it was crazy. So that night, it all ended. I went home, and I think I got home like about midnight, dude. I couldn't even sleep that night. I was out, dude, and then it was just a huge rush.
Right.
It was, dude. I've done a lot of drugs, and that was one of the better highs of my life. And I think the high came from overcoming the fear.
Of course.
I don't think it was actually being up on stage and doing the jokes. I mean, it was cool. That was cool. And I got some laughs, and that was cool. But it was the overcoming the fear, dude, was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then it's still a fear. So that was like October of 2019. I think I did one open mic night, and then.
So you're sober for 3 years going up to that? Yeah.
Yep.
Right on.
Yeah. So. And then, that was like I said, October of 19, and then COVID hit. And so it gave me every reason not to do it again. And so the fear is just like, wow. Yeah.
So you haven't done it since?
Dude, just once. I did it once on an open mic night. And dude, but it's in the back of my head. Like, you need to do that again.
Yeah,
you need to do that. And the fear is real. And so.
Whatever you're scared of in life, you got to attack that and do it. That's
really
usually where fear is. The other side is success and peace, and I believe being comfortable, being uncomfortable is how you grow in life.
Right. Well, and that's the big thing too, is go out and try stuff, dude. Because I've told people before, you don't want to die undefeated.
Right.
So just because you're undefeated doesn't mean shit. So like if you look at Floyd Mayweather, right? Floyd Mayweather has fucked up more punches than I have. Does that make me a better boxer than Floyd Mayweather? No. It's like, I haven't even gotten in the ring.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, go out and I think that the misconception of failure that I have had over the years is failure is devastating,
Yeah.
And it's not, you don't really fail at stuff. You get information,
right?
And you learn and you adapt and and so and I'm still learning how to think like that all the time.
Right. If you learn, did you really fail? Or if you got better? I mean,
dude, no. And it's just like, you watch people and you're like, they get just torn up. And it's just like, dude, no, like, cool, man. Like you did this and that didn't work.
Yeah.
And if you only had two options, that means the other time you do it's probably going to work. And then you can take that as far as you can.
Exactly.
And so,
it's all ego, right? It's all about thinking about
huge. Ego.
How do I look for other people? How are other people going to judge me? And that's just all ego stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. I would love to tell you. I don't give a shit what people think about me, but I do.
Dude, trust me, dude. First time I came on this, I was nervous as hell. Every drug I ever did, and alcohol was killing my body. I was like this up here, and one person actually. I've had a lot of great feedback.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
But yeah, man, I've had people say, "Oh man," I had somebody say to me, Dude, you're moving so much. I felt so embarrassed for you. I had to cut it off. Can't watch you. And seriously, when someone says that, it doesn't bother me until I'm by myself. I was like, what the? I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to prove her wrong, But you can't make everyone happy. Dude, you can't make everyone laugh, but you can just do the best you can, and that's all that matters.
Dude, that's it. So what do? Like you can not make sure no one talks shit about you, not do nothing ever. Yeah. Right. Or, some people are going to dig it and some people ain't. And it doesn't matter. You have fun doing it? Because
absolutely.
That's what it comes down to.
Yes.
And talking to people and getting their story, like, dude, it's cool, man.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of interesting people out there, Dude. You should do better than this, okay?
Well, dude, it takes a lot of courage and balls and practice. Like, you came and told your story, and you told it really well. And I'm sure you've told it 1,000 times already, right?
Getting there, yeah.
Yeah, so... it takes some time. And what I've experienced too, doing sales or just, telling my story is like everyone's fucked up. Everyone has some obstacle that hit them in their life, and you can't really judge yours more or less than theirs, but you just got to come out with empathy and sympathy. But, being able to tell your story, even the bad part of it, is important. Whatever dark thing happened in your life can be a bright light in someone else's dark space. You can really help someone get through something.
Yeah, dude, it was interesting because I posted, the sobriety thing and the bike ride on Facebook, and dude, I've had 3 people reach out to me, and I've posted it before, never,
right?
And so, and maybe it works, and if it doesn't, maybe it plants a seed, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't mind people reaching out to me. Like I said,
yeah, you've had I feel a lot of people that I know reach out to you about it.
It's interesting, dude.
Yeah,
and it's and that's the thing too. Is weird is like I said, my line of work. It's just, it goes hand in hand. And,
right.
I've got a lot of support from the guys that I work with, dude. And a lot of them guys knew me back. They got to see the old Joe too. He was fun. He was a good time.
Right. Yeah.
But they didn't have to come home and see the shit I was doing at home.
Of course, man. It's funny that everyone loves, when they're bored, they call Joe, and I'm sure that was tough. You had to change your set of friends, didn't you?
To a point, it kind of just happens anyway,
right. Throughout life, yeah,
and
you grow,
and I, there's it's funny. I heard someone mention that sometimes you just have seasonal people in your life,
right?
And they only come in for a season and that's it. And a lot of my friends are still, my friends. Like I said, I'm really bad about calling and keeping in touch with people. Like that's one of my shortcomings,
right?
But.
Dude, start a podcast, because I've been reaching out to everybody. Like when I called you, I tried to call John, called Thomas, and it makes you just reconnect with everybody again. And then it has people reach out to you, and people get to come and tell their story and relive our memories. So I think it's really cool, and you'd be really good at it too. And you have a lot more, I won't say more, but you have a very impactful message that you could spread to the world. So that's something to consider.
Working on it day to day.
Yeah. So we're going to work on getting more stand-up comedy in your life.
I need to do that, because it's just fear stopping me.
Right,
like
exactly.
You gotta, and that's the thing is like that fear. I won that battle that night.
Yeah, right.
But the war of fighting fear is
Well, I had Garrett Alf on here, and he's talking about. I still think about it. I've learned something from every episode, really. But Garrett said I was doing backflips into a foam pit, and then his guy says, he's like, "Come on, you're gonna go do a backflip right now." He's like, "No, I'm gonna go home and sleep on it. I gotta get mentally prepared." He's like, "What are you gonna do? Lose sleep?" He's like, "Just do it. Just go." So it's kind of stuck with me. Just go do stuff and then brag later. And then he said he did one backflip, and he's like, that doesn't make you a pro. Once you start doing it regularly every day, that's what makes you a pro. Just doing it one time does not. So it's crazy, right?
Can you imagine those nerves of lining up to flip it?
I watched him. No, I tried to ride a dirt bike, and I tried to jump one time, and that was it. That was it for me.
Yeah. Dude, those guys, I follow Jeff Griffin on Instagram.
Those guys are amazing.
Dude, I remember Jeff Griffin when he was like a little kid, dude. So we would ride our BMX bikes up there to these. I think there's houses there now, but we would ride up to the trash track, and all that. And dude, I remember that kid. He would come out, and he was probably 10, if I had to guess. Dude, just riding wheelies up the street, jumping the craziest shit. Like, dude, he was that kid was special.
Dude, he used to ride a wheelie to school. I was in 7th grade watching Jeff ride a wheelie to school. I'm like, what the heck, man? I can't do that on my Huffy.
Yeah, and it's cool, dude. Like, You know, he took it and ran with it, man. And
Yeah.
made a career out
Still
of
doing it.
riding that wheelie up the street. You know,
Yeah, he's still riding. I talked to him, trying to get him on. He's actually booked till June. He can't even come on here. He's that busy. So
good for him.
good.
Dude.
I know.
It's awesome.
I'm going to watch it, man. It's amazing. But dude, I gotta always ask everybody on the show, you know, what's your favorite part about Bakersfield? And you know, I know that you ride bikes, and you can't say the bars. But,
Right. So, dude, for me, I think, man, like for me, Bakersfield is if you look at it, it's prime real estate in my mind. You know, LA is an hour and a half away. The coast is an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Vegas is 4 hours away. San Francisco. I mean, the mountains are there. I mean, you got everything.
Right.
You know, now the heat, air quality. Yeah, you get it. You know, it's rough. And but Bakersfield has given me an opportunity to give my my family a good living. You know,
Right.
Our money would go a lot further here.
Right.
You know, if I was to work anywhere else, especially down in LA, I don't know how they do it. Like I couldn't imagine just working to pay my mortgage. You know.
Yeah. No
And
way. Has a house own you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and I know a lot of people talk shit about Bakersfield, and you know, it is what it is. It's my home. It's gave me a great opportunity. It would be hard for me to move out of California, dude. I love a lot of what California has to offer.
I'm the same way, bro.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I've looked in other states at stuff, and it's just like, yeah, but there's no beach in Tennessee. You know?
Yeah.
So,
oceanfront property in Arizona.
yeah, that's right. You know? And so, yeah, I do that. I can ride from my house. I can take my bike and ride from my house to the beach.
you literally did. Yeah.
But yeah, and so, dude, like I said, there's just, you know, like mountain biking in the summer, you can go up to Big Bear and you know, and even Mammoth is you know 5-6 hours away. Everything is near.
Yes.
So
you can do it all here. You really can.
Yeah.
It doesn't rain either. My brother says my dream job is to be a weatherman in Bakersfield.
Yeah. It's gonna be hot.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the week off. Just put it on repeat for Monday.
Dude, it's interesting when you like, you know, those summers get freaking hot. Like, and you don't ever get used to it. You just learn you just know it's coming.
Yeah.
And so getting into the bike riding, right? If it's gonna be 105 out, dude, I'm not riding my bike after work. So
yeah,
I've been known to get up at 1-2 in the morning and go ride.
Yeah,
just out
kind
the
of
bike.
peaceful, man.
Dude, so it's a rush, man. And people are like, you're out of your goddamn mind, you know? And it's just like, maybe. But
maybe, yeah.
But dude, getting out there, there's no traffic, you know? You still got some characters running around the bike trail at that time of night, you know?
Yeah.
So, but
you gotta wear 3 flashlights going around.
oh, dude, I got lights. So what I do, this is what I do. I'll so from Beach Park to like Manor, it's where it gets a little funky, you know? And then I'll ride up Panorama, but that Beach Park to Manor, dude, it's Slayer, and Lamb of God, as loud as can be.
Oh,
so I'm just
gosh,
like, you know, maybe they'll just if they plan on jumping somebody, they'll just be like, man, this guy's already wound up.
That reminds me of
it's
your
3 in the morning.
Your
Like,
single cab, your Chevy single cab. You had a 10 in there. It used to freaking it used to thump loud as hell.
410s, man.
It was
And that
410.
white one?
Oh yeah. I was like,
Love
oh
that
God. I was like,
Tens.
so I'm still affected. I started putting stock in hearing aids at that time.
Dude, I think about it. Remember when John had that Navigator with the 215s in it? Did you ever sit in that?
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Do people do that anymore? Like stereos?
You know, I
some
don't
do.
hang around. The music's too loud nowadays.
Yeah, turn it down.
That's funny. Talking about drinking. You know, drinking a 30 pack, you know, in one night before you're 30 is cool. But after 30 years old, it's not cool anymore.
No.
Now you got a problem.
It hurts. Yeah. I remember one time I was walking through the house and my wife goes, I was walking to the garage, grabbed me a beer. Sunday, football's on. So you can start a little earlier those days, right? So this afternoon, I was feeling pretty good. And I remember she goes, how many beers you had today? I said, I'm feeling pretty good. I have about 8 or 9, if I had to guess.
Wow.
Yeah. She goes, 17. She goes, you're getting ready to go get your 17th beer right now. And I was just like, damn. All right. I'm going to keep track.
Yeah. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Yeah,
let's
exactly.
go for 20.
You go to the store.
Yeah.
All about an 18 pack.
There's not any other liquid you're going to drink that much of at one time.
Never.
You know?
I know. It's crazy, right?
So, yeah, there's, yeah.
Well, we'll end off with 2 questions here. I know.
Okay.
See, it goes fast, right? It's already been an hour.
Dude, I was looking at that. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. So, dude, you know, what drives Joe Daniels right now, you'd say, besides a bicycle?
Dude, so obviously, yeah, the bike is a big part. Just trying to be man, trying to be better at things, trying to be better at life,
Right.
handling situations. I'm not good at a lot of stuff still, man. I got a lot of work to do. Being a good father, man, that time goes by so fast,
Right.
you know, and so trying to be a good father, I got to be a better husband. You know, I know that's one that's like, dude, there's a romantic side that women like that. I got to work on. So, you know, so that just becoming a little bit better each day. You know, man, I fall short a lot of days, and dude, and it's a cumulative of doing a little bit of work every day.
Right.
And there's a lot of days I'll go where I don't do the work, and I can tell, you know, and so yeah, just becoming a little bit better, man.
Yeah.
Trying not to be so materialistic.
Yeah,
Like, that's
sure.
one, dude.
Definitely.
That one's a tough one.
Yes.
You know. Oh.
Focus on the stuff that actually matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause, dude, I think one of the things I think of question wise too is when you think back as gives me some gratitude is remember when you were wishing that you had everything you had now. And it's just like, dude, you know. So that's one.
Being grateful and thankful for sure.
Yeah, 'cause I can get ungrateful.
Yes.
So
Especially when someone just say thank you when you open the door, huh?
yeah, yeah.
That's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop doing it. I
Couldn't
love
handle
it.
It's too much for you.
And I always ask, where can everyone find you? Where you're not working.
On the bike path, man. Riding bikes.
On
yeah.
the bike path.
Yeah.
You do have
Maybe-
you got social media though, because I know you have some.
Instagram at Pipeliner40.
I'm sure I asked for a reason. Someone out there might want to reach out to you and get some advice.
And dude,
so.
if anybody has any questions about whatever, I'm more hit me up.
Just
So-
funny. Yeah, I went and had lunch with you, and you're like, "So, you trying to get sober or what?" I
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm actually a little drunk right now. I just wanted to catch up with you, buddy. Hey, Joe, dude, love you, man. Thank you so
Thanks,
much for
man.
coming
Thanks for the
on.
invite.
And let's do it again.
Sounds good, dude.
Get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm someone I don't recognize. I got wasted cause I didn't want to deal with myself tonight. My thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. I keep drinking till I'm someone I don't recognize.
Thank you for coming out tonight and enjoying all your friends up here doing stand-up comedy. And it means a lot to them. You got to see them be weird as fuck. And here we go. Joe Daniels, let's hear it for him. I guess we gotta work on our disguise a little better there, guys. Fucking old Dean called us out quick. I was like, did they fucking leave their robes on? Shit. We can pick up a couple black friends on the way down next time. So you guys ever seen a sheep's pussy? Just kidding. So anyway, I'm from Bakersfield. It's a great place. It really is, especially if you're into cow shit and meth labs. I ain't gonna lie, I tried meth once for 15 years. It wasn't all bad though. It was by far the best weight loss program I've ever done. And it was also the best tooth loss program I've ever done. I got 3.5 years clean and sober now though. Sunday nights 4 years ago would have been drunk and or hiding in a closet from the police. That wasn't there. So sobriety's cool, but it's kind of fucked up, man. Like I don't have no excuses why I do stupid shit now. So like I can't be like, hey, I was drunk, man. What do you want to do? Or like, hey, dude, I was up all month. You know? So. Oh, see, there it went. Now, see that? I knew it was gonna happen. Fucking brain just said, fuck this, I'm out. So anyway, so I'm gonna go with this one. So I was in high school, and fucking teacher pulled me aside and said, you're never gonna amount to shit. And I was like, fucking thanks, man. Well, you're never gonna be a motivational speaker. Knowing what I know now, though, if I could go back, I'd ask that motherfucker for the lotto numbers, because he was spot on. Like, how do you fucking do that? No. A lot of people running around on drugs these days. It's pretty failed. Some people are freaked out. I don't know, man. I feel like a kid again. There's like real-life garbage pail kids walking around. I'm like, look at that. There's fucking not-out Ned. Check it out, kids. There's old crystal meth Seth. Used to be your dad. No. So freaking California, man, it's pretty goddamn expensive to live in. I was noticing San Diego, people are putting in micro apartments in their backyard. And then they panned over and showed it. It was a fucking tool shed. And the guy gets on the TV and he's like, this is a great idea. How'd you come up with it? And I'm like, hey, motherfucker, like, settle down, Christopher Columbus. That's not a new idea. Like, meth addicts have been living in tool sheds for many years. Like, as a matter of fact, that's their preferred habitat. I was waiting for him to bring out a 5-gallon bucket and be like, look at this extraordinary bathroom. And it's mobile. Guys, that's my time. Thank you very much.
Oh, Larry, the crystal meth cable guy. All right, thank you for coming.